I've always hated family gatherings. I hate my birthday most of all. Year in, year out, it's always the same. Everyone goes through the motions. Everyone plays their part. My mom bustles about the kitchen, preparing finger food and greeting the guests with a fake smile plastered across her face. My dad always drinks way too much and staggers around, laughing too loud and slapping people on the back way too hard. My grandmother smothers me with kisses, and I shudder with disgust as I feel her hairy chin brush against my cheek. My uncle bombards me with questions, asking if I have a girlfriend yet, and if not, why not? My aunt tells me all about her son and how well and perfect he is and how he's doing in school. She always takes pain to mention me and how smart he is and how he is so much smarter than me. My little cousins race around the house like cockroaches, stomping on the floor, jumping on the stairs, squealing and hollering at the top of their lungs. They climb over furniture and crawl under tables, pulling and tugging at everything in sight. Nothing goes untouched by their grubby little hands. Around and around they go, like rats on a wheel. I honestly can't believe I'm related to these people, but I have to hold my tongue. I don't want them to resent me more than they already do. The table is lined with soggy sandwiches and stale chips. Bottles of wine are followed by bottles of whiskey and vodka. They all sit around the living room gulping down their drinks, swapping stories about the good old times, and boasting about themselves. I cringe and listen to them laughing and cackling like a bunch of hyenas. It's enough to drive anyone insane. I get up and leave the room, desperate to clear my head. I know that in his jacket pocket my uncle has a packet of cigarettes and a lighter. Surely he won't miss one, I think. I can hear all the adults in the living room singing a song, so I go to the kitchen to sneak a quick smoke. Surely nobody will notice. There's a strange smell in the air that makes me wrinkle up my nose, but I don't pay much attention to it. My little cousins are already in the kitchen, up to mischief as usual. They give me a startled look when I come in, as if they've done something naughty and they're afraid I'll catch them. I put the cigarette between my lips and head over towards the window. I flick the cigarette lighter and suddenly a jet of flame shoots across the room to the old gas stove. There's a deafening explosion, and the room erupts in flames. The whole house is on fire. I hear the screams and cries. I smell the burning flesh. I feel the intense heat as we are all consumed in the inferno, and I close my eyes and sigh with relief as it dissolves into silence. Until next year, when I'll be 14 again. Over and over again. Forever 14. The cashier swipes my items across the scanner as I stare at the floor. I find it easiest to get through my anxiety by avoiding eye contact with people. That's why I only go shopping at night, fewer people to avoid. "Did you find everything okay?" she asks casually. "Mm-hmm," I mumble to the floor. Her voice sounds nice, pleasant. Curiosity wins over and I glanced up. The cashier's head is completely caved in on the left side. Blood is streaming out her eye and her ear on the right. Probably a car accident. I snap my gaze back down towards the floor and feel vomit at the back of my throat. After I pay, she gives me back my change in a hand so mangled I'm surprised it can hold anything at all. Thanking her, I grab my bags and turn towards the exit. Immediately, I see a man looking through magazines at the storefront. The skin on his face and hands is the consistency of a hot dog that fell into a campfire. He must be a burn victim. I turn the other way and see a woman with a purple bruise surrounding her neck, her eyes bugged out and bloodshot. Death by hanging. I rush out the door as fast as I can. In my car, I finally catch my breath as I lean my forehead on the steering wheel. Eventually, I look up and see my familiar reflection in the rearview mirror. My head is blown open in the back. Gunshot victim. Why did I ever wish for the power to see how people die?
You're slowly stirred awake by the distant ringing as the phone beside your bed pulls you out of your dreams. Your thoughts gather themselves and you groan, reaching over to answer. As soon as you place the phone to your ear, you're greeted by the background noise consisting of twisted screams. People in agonizing pain begging for help or death. Not that the interference allows you to hear any individual voice clearly enough. Get out of the house now. The call ends abruptly after what you could have sworn was a voice from closer to you than on the other end. You shift yourself to the side of the bed, sighing while rubbing your eyes. A call this startling and this early in the morning would keep you awake. Your wife shuffles to the side, apparently also woken by the call. She wraps around you and gives you a light kiss on the neck. Don't worry about it, her half-asleep mumble calms you down somewhat. Just as you're about to place the phone down, it rings again. You fumble slightly and drop it. Instead, you feel your wife's arms tighten around you, preventing you from leaning forward. It's then you notice a subtle difference between the arms around you and the familiarity of your wife's. He's too late to save you anyway. It all started on the 14th night of March, the night my parents' 20th wedding anniversary. It was a wonderful sunny day, if memory serves, surprisingly warm for being the beginning of spring. The beautiful weather was perfect for the atmosphere of the day. Being married for 20 years is obviously a momentous occasion, so my parents had booked a table at our favorite Italian restaurant. Of course, this was a formal occasion, so I had my best suit on. It was 5:33 and I was just straightening my tie when my phone went off. I had received a message. That's strange, I thought. That never happens. I checked the message and it was from my mom. It was quite a jumble of numbers and letters, but through the vocabulary stew I could make out the legible phrase. Please help me. It should go without saying that this worried me greatly, so I immediately replied, Are you okay? Just as instantly as I got another text which read, Oops, pocket text. I sighed with all the relief I had and continued to prepare myself. A few minutes later I received yet another message, and this time it was from my dad. So I checked the text, and once again it was a massive mixture of letters and numbers with the phrase, Please help me, concealed within. Creepy as this was, my dad was always a joker, so I presumed he was just joking around, until I was sent another text saying, Oops, pocket text. Now this sparked panic, pure, unmistakable panic. Exactly half a minute passed when I received the exact same message from my sister. This could not be coincidental. It just couldn't. In a state of sheer anxiety, I started to run to the restaurant. I made it about a quarter of the way before I was stopped by a police officer. Main road's closed, he said. Huge car crash. This was the exact moment I realized just what had happened. I demanded to see the wreckage as a request. I'm surprised I was allowed. When I got there, it wasn't the remnants of the car that caught my eye, nor the flames billowing from the destroyed vehicle. No, I was horrified to see the lifeless corpses of my mother, father, and sister. I asked for the estimated time of death, and all three of them were killed instantly by the collision at 5:32. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider clicking like, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with your friends. The original article that I got the information from was written in 2018, so some of the